This is VOA News, reporting by remote. I'm Joe Ramsey. Israel pounded Gaza with airstrikes into the early hours of Sunday, destroying a tower that housed news media organizations, while Palestinian militants fired rockets at Tel Aviv. This latest conflict shows no sign of letting up as it enters a seventh day, with Palestinians saying at least 145 people have been killed since Monday, including 41 children. Israel has reported 10 dead, including 2 children. The 12-story block in Gaza City, brought down by Israeli airstrikes Saturday, housed the U.S. Associated Press and Qatar-based Al Jazeera media operations. The Israeli military claims it was a legitimate target containing Hamas military offices and that it had given warnings to civilians to get out of the building before the attack. The media outlets are condemning the bombing and demanding an explanation with evidence. The White House said U.S. President Joe Biden spoke with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas on Saturday. President Biden reaffirmed the United States' strong support for Israel's right to defend itself against rocket attacks from Hamas in his call with Netanyahu, according to the White House. Tens of thousands of protesters marched in support of Palestinians on Saturday in Europe, from London, Berlin, Madrid, and Paris to North America in Montreal, New York, Boston, and Washington. Organizers claim as many as 150,000 people gathered in the British capital, just one of several protests across Britain. The London demonstrators marched from Hyde Park towards the Israeli embassy. Organizers claim as many as 150,000 people. This is VOA News. India's health ministry reported its lowest number of new daily COVID-19 cases in nearly 3 weeks on Saturday, but the government warns a surge is still sweeping across rural areas. Officials say the overall rate of infections fell nearly 20% this week after being down about 22% the week before. But Saturday, India still saw more than 300,000 new cases and nearly 4,000 deaths. Only the U.S. has recorded more total COVID-19 cases. The United States has seen more than 32 million infections compared to about 24 million for India, but experts say the South Asian nation is undercounting. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro rallied his base Saturday, appearing on horseback and even in a helicopter flyover as his popularity dips and he faces harsh criticism for his handling of the pandemic, which has ravaged his country. The far-right leader put out a call for rallies in several cities, which were meant to gather the country's so-called conservative soldiers, including farmers and the religious right. Brazil is the second hardest hit COVID-19 country in the world after the United States, but Bolsonaro has questioned the virus and vaccines. His approval rating hit an all-time low of 24% this week as Brazil's Senate investigates his handling of the pandemic. On Saturday, he cast doubt on the country's 2022 presidential elections, questioning the country's electronic voting system without evidence. 30 people were sentenced to death in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Saturday for their role in anti-police violence, marking the end of Ramadan. Officials say a policeman was killed on Thursday as rival Muslim groups fought over the right to celebrate Eid al-Fitr festivities, marking the end of Ramadan, at a major sports stadium. The government has also confirmed that one policewoman is in critical condition and 46 others injured. A total of 38 people who had been arrested appeared at Friday's trial. It was broadcast live on public television and lasted until the early hours of Saturday. The DRC has not actually carried out the death penalty since 2003, commuting most to life in prison. And Chileans began voting Saturday in a mega election in which they will pick mayors, governors, councilors, and critically, the 155 men and women who will draft the country's next constitution. Changing the framework of Chile's government was a central demand to emerge from fierce social protests that erupted over inequality in October 2019. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA.